What are you looking for? I'm so tired of it. It just makes no sense to me, and I'm tired that we keep giving it so much energy, and I'm tired of it being people who are not in this circle or space at all who suddenly have all these opinions about how these women need to treat Caitlin Clark. What do you want from them? They want to beat her because she's not on their team.
In 2025, the WNBA spotlight shifted in an unexpected direction, straight to the broadcast booth. This time, it's not the players under fire, but the commentators. Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise has shaken things up, and now the critics, who once took aim at her, are feeling the heat. The microphone isn't just for play-by-play anymore. It's demanding accountability.
Clark, what are your thoughts on how she apologized for being white when she won Athlete of the Year?
She developed all of that stuff, and then now to me that just kind of discredits her as an athlete. Athleticism doesn't see race. If you're good at something because of the prime and the practice that you put in it to develop your talent to a skill, then that's what deserves to be given the credit for. Not all this other race baiting and everything else that makes everyone feel like they're at a disadvantage because of where they grew up.
The 2024 WNBA season shattered viewership records, fueled in large part by rookie sensation Caitlin Clark.
Clark, I saw, got a Nike deal for like 20 M's.
Dude, but she's cold though, bro.
What are your honest opinions on her? Because some people say...
I never watched like her play until the tournament, and I was actually like in shock with how good she was.
You think she'd beat you in a three-point contest?
Nah, but it'd be good.
She became the first rookie since Candace Parker in 2008 to earn a spot on the All-WNBA first team.
The WNBA playoffs in full effect. I think we need to talk about how historic this WNBA regular season was. Latest reports show for the regular season, nationally televised WNBA games averaged 657,000 viewers, the highest audience in 24 seasons. No surprise here, the matchup between two college rivals, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, was the most watched WNBA regular season game. The Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky game averaged 2.3 million viewers, the most watched WNBA game in 23 seasons.
Caitlin Clark has quickly become one of the most polarizing figures the WNBA has ever seen. While she's been praised for igniting the league's surge in popularity, she's also faced heavy criticism from former players and broadcasters. However, heading into her sophomore season, Clark will have two fewer critics to contend with.
About Caitlin Clark's #1 hater, Sheryl Swoopes. Stephen A. Smith actually called out Sheryl Swoopes on his Stephen A. Smith show and said,
"There seems to be some haterade in the league." Sheryl Swoopes herself. She recently spoke on her podcast and didn't mention the rookie when speaking of Indiana's rise in the standings. All Sheryl Swoopes did was validate that there's folks hating on Caitlin Clark. How do you talk about the Indiana Fever and mention a multitude of players and not one of them is Caitlin?
As another landmark year for women's basketball came to a close, some familiar voices on the sidelines quietly faded from the spotlight.
But that to me is what keeps this league so competitive, is a great mix of young players and the veterans.
The thing I feel is unfair for Caitlin Clark is she's always saddled with these issues that she doesn't have herself. This is not, they pitted Angel Reese against her, and it was always coming down to race and all these things. Caitlin Clark said in that interview, "I earned everything I got." Her stats speak for themselves. She broke records that were 50 years old. But recognizing that this was built on the shoulders of people, a game she admired, players and teammates that she loved, and the most important thing she said, actually.
As the 2025 season approaches, individual franchises are recalibrating their on-air talent to better align with the new Clark-driven fan base, and the shakeups are already starting. First up is Sheryl Swoopes. The three-time WNBA MVP has been outspoken in questioning Caitlin Clark's impact on the Indiana Fever, stirring controversy among fans and analysts alike. From hinting at locker room tensions to accusing the organization of mishandling veteran guard Kelsey Mitchell, Swoopes hasn't held back in making bold claims about the Fever's internal dynamics.
I think Angel will eventually be a good pro. I don't think Angel will come into the league immediately and dominate the way people think she will. And I say that for people who have never watched a WNBA game. It's good. Like there's talent. Like these women can play. And because there are very few roster spots. Like it's a real job. So people look at new players coming in, whether that's out of college, players who've been overseas, and they look at that and say, oh, you trying to come take my job? Like, nah, it's not gonna be that easy. So will Caitlin Clark be a good pro? Absolutely. Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now? Immediately? Absolutely not.
Swoopes had been highly critical of the young star, and many saw it as a direct response to the backlash she received from Clark's rapidly growing fan base. Similarly, Cindy Brunson has a history of calling out Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Despite Clark's role in attracting a new wave of fans and catapulting the WNBA into the national spotlight, Brunson remained one of the most outspoken critics of the rookie sensation.
Face.
Oh.
I can't feel it. Are they?
She gonna do it.
Nah, I don't think she let that shit go. I'ma just be honest. Caitlin Clark did the smartest thing that she could have. People didn't know, like, one, she was hated. Angel Reese were like on the same level. One was antics, one was just hated. People don't realize the South Carolina, and when she turned and did one of those, she wasn't actually liked. What happened is, when she got hit with her own ish, I'm pretty sure her and her group said, don't never do it again.
Don't ever do it again.
You're the victim now. Be the victim. Stay the victim.
Brunson's comments sparked fierce backlash from fans who rallied behind Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Once the voice of the Phoenix Mercury, Cindy Brunson now finds herself out of the play-by-play rotation, a casualty of fan outrage, controversial remarks, and a stormy season that was as much about off-court drama as on-court action. As Mick from Mick Talks Hoops pointed out in a YouTube video, it's kind of telling that two teams have let go of, or at least not rehired, people who have openly criticized the league's biggest star. His words rang true when the Phoenix Mercury announced their 2025 broadcast schedule, the most expansive in franchise history, featuring 36 regular season games and 2 preseason matchups airing on Arizona's Family and Mercury Live. Notably, missing from the lineup, Cindy Brunson. Replacing her are Emmy winner Ann Schatz, Hall of Famer Ann Myers-Drysdale, and Valley Sun's announcer Braden Bell. The shift comes at a time when optics matter more than ever, as the Mercury aim to rebuild not just their roster, but their relationship with a rapidly growing and vocal fan base. In that context, Brunson's controversial presence had simply become too much of a liability. The tipping point wasn't a single incident, but a steady drip of controversy. In a widely circulated Twitter space, Brunson allegedly made critical remarks about Clark, urging Indiana's front office to press Clark to address the vitriol, aimed particularly at Black women and LGBTQ players. She said, if Caitlin isn't going to do the right thing, I think General Manager Lynn Dunn, Head Coach Stephanie White, and others in that organization need to push back. However, the moment instantly branded Brunson as a Clark hater in the public eye. The narrative intensified when Caitlin Clark secured 66 out of 67 votes for
My sister Sheryl Swoopes for clicks and likes is horrifying. And I implore everybody that can hear my voice to push back on Stephen A. and say, why won't you have Sheryl on? Why won't you have Monica McNutt back? Because they called him out. He just doesn't want to face the truth, and he wants to line up in the narrative behind everybody else that Caitlin Clark came down the mountain with tablets in her hand to save the WNBA. Here's a news flash. The W didn't need saving. It just needed promotion. The product has never been the problem. It has always been the promotion.
At face value, Brunson's message carried weight, but context and history quickly muddied the waters. Things took a turn when Ken Swift on X, formerly Twitter, started digging and unearthed an old comment from Brunson on a post mocking Monica Chinano's appearance. Suddenly, the backlash wasn't just about Caitlin Clark. It was about Brunson's credibility. In a league built on teamwork and unity, Brunson had seemingly committed a cardinal sin, going one-on-one when the league needed solidarity. Mick put it bluntly. It's not a great look to keep employing someone who's said the things she has. And she wasn't alone. the hits kept coming. First Sheryl Swoopes, now Cindy Brunson. So was Cindy Brunson's removal from the Phoenix Mercury broadcast team justified? Speaking of Swoopes, another outspoken Clark critic, she's also quietly disappeared from Dallas Wings broadcasts, and it's not hard to see why.
Of mistreating players. One of them is speaking out this morning, telling us why she wanted to transfer. ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with the details. Good morning, Lindsay.
Sheryl Swoopes fired and eats turd as WNBA stars choose Caitlin Clark.
Good morning, Lara. Sheryl Swoopes was the first woman to ever sign with the WNBA. But this morning, the college coach is not only under fire, but under investigation after reports that the majority of her roster has decided to...
Swoopes' take stirred more heat than insight. She downplayed Clark's NCAA scoring record, claimed Angel Reese had outplayed her, and even misstated the facts. For instance, when Kelsey Plum set the record in 4 years, she argued Caitlin Clark should have broken it in 4 as well. Only Clark did it in fewer games. So Brunson's exit and Swoopes' disappearance, they don't feel like coincidences. They seem more like strategic timeouts. When controversy starts to overshadow the game, the smartest move is to reset the play. This played out in the 2024 local WNBA broadcaster rankings, where the Wings ranked dead last in awful announcing, while the Mercury finished just
as the Phoenix Mercury prepare to take on the Washington Mystics. I'm Eliav Gabay here with Cindy Brunson, and thank you so much for joining me. It has been a very exciting season in a whole lot of different ways, but 3 games out of the playoffs, sitting with 13 games to go. How realistic is making the playoffs for this team in your eyes?
It's very realistic for the Phoenix Mercury. This is a team in the WNBA that...
Brunson, who helped form the Mercury's first all-female broadcast booth in 2023, responded on social media with a Bob Marley quote. "True friends are like stars. You can only recognize them when it's dark around you." While some fans were caught off guard by the decision, Caitlin Clark's supporters have expressed a sense of relief, glad that neither Brunson nor Swoopes will be given a platform to speak about the young superstar.
They will sever a relationship quick, but the fact that the relationship was severed because there was a difference in opinion, that's unfortunate.
You know, I have a lot of stuff, so I might mispronounce someone. I'm trying to correct it.
Right.
If somebody tries to correct me and I sever a relationship or I'm no longer on speaking terms, we never had a friendship to begin with.
Right.
Caitlin Clark is a polarizing figure. People gravitate towards her. It's okay. Caitlin Clark's success doesn't diminish what Sheryl Swoopes accomplished. Caitlin Clark's arrival doesn't diminish anything that they've done. I don't get this old guard. People wasn't phonetic. It wasn't buzzing. The WNBA, and people didn't talk about it like they do. Instead of being upset about it, I'm a ride the wave.
Right.
Look, I love Sheryl Swoopes, but I don't think Nancy said anything that's wrong. Sheryl, you just got you know, your facts are off.
One fan went as far as to say that the removal of Brunson and Swoopes was a step in the right direction for ending the hate surrounding Clark. Another commented, "It sounds like the league is getting more professional and getting rid of clowns without fail." A third added, "Thank God the league is finally doing something about the unprofessional people they hire. They caused so much drama last season, and most of it fell on Caitlin's shoulders to deal with and fix. It wasn't acceptable at all." Although both Swoopes and Brunson are out of WNBA broadcasting, they are still signed to the Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball broadcast team for the 2025 season, airing on ESPN and Sports Network and on the WNBA app. But here's where it gets really interesting. Caitlin Clark isn't just changing the game. She's redefining its entire economy. We've seen her shatter records, both on and off the court. Her jersey became the top-selling draft pick jersey ever, surpassing even NBA legends like LeBron James and Michael Jordan during the September-November 2024 period, trailing only Stephen Curry in sales. Clark's impact goes far beyond merchandise. The 2024 WNBA season saw unprecedented viewership numbers, with ESPN averaging 1.2 million viewers per game, an astonishing 155% increase from the previous year. Games featuring...
Big duh! Yeah! We talked about how great Coach Staley was, right? How authentic she was. What did she say before she left? She gave her an interview after the game, right? Press conference, this and that. And the last she said is Kaylin Curry Clark, if you're out there somewhere. And she said, yo, you are one of our biggest GOATs. You've changed the game. You guys love to talk about Brianna Stewart and how great she was, right? Teron said, you got, who else you got? Maya Moore. All these was phenomenal though. They ain't changed the game. And every they haven't. Like this old girl Caitlin had. Okay, yeah, there it is. Every barbershop talk, right? Yep. Those the real sports conversations, right? From my background, from my culture, right? It's LeBron, it's the Lakers, it's Patrick Mahomes. Nah, it's Caitlin Clark. She's changed the game. I haven't seen no player in basketball other than one dude, and he got 4 championships, and he's one of the GOATs, Steph Curry. I haven't seen nobody like her.
Clark's influence has even extended into the financial realm. According to Dr. Ryan Brewer, an associate professor of finance at Indiana University Columbus, her impact on both the WNBA and Indianapolis is estimated to be between $36 million and $40 million respectively. Despite a rookie salary of just $76,000, Clark earned $11 million through endorsements, underscoring not only her personal marketability, but also the growing commercial appeal of the league. Since the roster changes, the Fever have had the 3rd lowest odds to win it all this season, with the defending champion New York Liberty and 2-time champions Las Vegas Aces holding better odds.
I mean, just being in the gym with our players that we have in market, certainly, and the excitement that's surrounding the draft and, coaches, staff meetings and all of those things. The opportunity for us to put this team together, Amber and Kelly have done an outstanding job of getting the pieces in place. And now, from a coaching staff, it's our turn to put them on the floor and to build our rotations, to build our confidence on both ends of the floor, to find the right combination. So I'm really looking forward.
With all the impact Clark's had, a new behavior has emerged from Sheryl Swoopes. It seems like she's become almost obsessed with Caitlin Clark, turning a new leaf and leaving her past criticisms behind to make peace with Clark and give her the recognition she deserves. After her own physical transformation, Swoopes has been notably more positive toward Clark. Confidence is running high in Indiana as the Fever have made several moves to improve their roster around Clark, Aaliyah, Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell.
Went from just being in the playoffs last season to potentially winning a championship. You add the OG DeWanna Bonner, who plays both ends of the floor, who's a competitor, Natasha Howard, who's another OG, who's going to bring the defensive presence. And then you're bringing back Aaliyah Boston, who continues to get better every single year. Can we talk about Kelsey Mitchell, who is just a walking bucket? How much stronger Caitlin got in the offseason. She was in the gym working on her game. This Indiana Fever team, they have put the pieces together in this offseason, and I'm excited to see what they're...
Sheryl Swoopes has weighed in on the Indiana Fever's off-season moves and their prospects for the upcoming season. In a video shared on X, Swoopes praised the Fever for adding seasoned players like Dana Bonner and Natasha Howard to bring some veteran leadership to the team. Bonner, despite being 36, remains a force, having averaged 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1.2 blocks over 40 games with Connecticut last season. Howard, a 3-time champion and former Defensive Player of the Year, adds crucial championship experience to the mix. Swoopes isn't the only one impressed. The bookmakers seem to agree. While she made it clear she's a fan of how the Fever